So by now I'm sure you have heard of Andrew Tate at one point or another on the internet. I have mentioned him a few times on this channel. I have done at least 2 videos talking about him. One of those 2 videos, I believe, was just discussing alpha males in general and just the niche of it online as a whole. Since my last time discussing Andrew Tate, his popularity has really taken off. In fact, it had skyrocketed. He went from being an influencer who would be flaunting his wealth and telling young men some really cringy things.
If you think you're gonna find a man with options who's gonna genuinely never ever consider those options ever, then he's just a low value dude.
To being one of the most searched people on the internet, even surpassing some of YouTube's biggest creators and some celebrities. Now, this video in particular is not going to be a deep dive. Today, I really just want to take a moment and discuss what has been going on over the past week, which is the fact that Andrew Tate has been banned from pretty much most popular social media platforms. He has been banned from TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, but he's been banned from Twitter a long time ago. The other 3 were more recent. He was also banned from YouTube as well. According to an article written on the New York Times, Meta, which is Facebook and Instagram, they apparently took down Andrew Tate's content because it was a violation of their policies. YouTube had taken down his content for violating multiple community guidelines. Twitter, as we had mentioned previously, had banned Tate long ago, and a statement from a spokesperson at TikTok shares, "Misogyny is a hateful ideology that is not tolerated on TikTok. Our investigation into this content is ongoing as we continue to remove violative accounts and videos and pursue measures to strengthen our enforcement, including our detection models against this type of content." There seems to be a pretty mixed reaction to Andrew Tate's ban, with many people stating that it's a relief he was banned from social media, to others having some concerns on what this could mean for the future of social media platforms. Now, at the end of this video, I'll share my thoughts and opinions on Andrew Tate being banned. What I think is more important to cover right now is Andrew Tate's response, because in his response video titled "A Final Message," he shares a lot of goofy things that seem to make no sense at all. But before we get into that, let's have a word from today's sponsors. I want to give a big thank you to today's sponsor, AdamandEve.com. Adam and Eve is an 18+ store that sells a wide variety of adult items. Are you worried about having your nosy neighbors find out the personal items you've ordered? Fear not. Adam and Eve uses discreet packaging so that nobody will know what you've ordered. Adam and Eve also has great 24/7 customer support and offers 90-day no-hassle returns if you are unhappy with your purchase. And my favorite thing is that 20% of Adam and Eve's profits go towards fighting the spread of HIV around the world. How amazing is that? Go to adamandeve.com today and use code TehMimi at checkout for 50% off of one item and free shipping to the United States and Canada. Some exclusions do apply. Thank you so much to Adam and Eve for sponsoring another video on this channel, and with that being said, let's get back into the topic. Now, Andrew Tate has made a video that's over an hour long in response to his ban on social media. This video has a lot of points that I want to go over. I'm obviously not going to cover the entire video, being that it is so long. In this hour-long video, Andrew Tate repeats a lot of points that people are taking a lot of his clips out of context and are posting it on websites like TikTok.
I have a problem with long format things I've said being taken out of context, taking a small clip from a 2-hour piece of video, then with careful editing, removing of tonality, and changing my intention behind the words, painting me to be a criminal or a bad person when I am not. I do have a problem with false criminal accusations when I do not have a criminal record, and I have never had a criminal record in any country on the planet. I do have a problem with this.
What he fails to mention in this hour-plus long video is the fact that a lot of these accounts that are taking clips from his podcast and posting them onto TikTok are people that are part of his Hustlers University. So if you do not know, Tate runs a website. One part of his website is the War Room, which is very, very expensive to be a part of. And then the other part of his website is Hustlers University 2.0, now being revamped into 3.0, I believe, where people pay $50 a month to gain access to tools and a community of people with like-minded viewpoints. But one thing that Andrew Tate fails to mention in his response at all is the way he's having people in the Hustlers University go out, take clips from his video, post them on the TikTok, and then anybody who watches those TikTok videos and then signs up to Hustlers University will cause that person who posted the clip to receive a portion of the process via affiliate. So these clips are being taken from his podcast and they are shortened down versions of what he is saying, but they're done in a way to promote Tate, not to slander him or send him hate. People who are reacting to these clips in a negative way have every right to do so if they see them online and disagree with them, but they are not the ones taking him out of context. It would technically be the people who are affiliated with him.
And as of late, with TikTok, with YouTube Shorts, with Instagram Reels, it's very, very easy to take 2 hours of video, snip out 10 seconds, edit it up quickly on a phone app, and then blow it up to millions and millions of views with all context removed, all tonality removed, and makes it look like I'm saying things I did not say or I mean things I did not mean. And this is something that I can't control.
And the funniest thing is when he's showing examples of TikTok accounts taking him out of context, the titles of these videos, the names of these accounts, and the hashtags can all point to being accounts that are supporting him and are affiliated with him. Even one video had hashtag Hustlers University. Titles of the videos are praising him. Descriptions in the TikToks, which you can't see the full thing because it's cut off, but you can see a little bit of it, are usually praising him. And the account names are something like Andrew Tate or Top G or whatever else. In other words, what he's saying here, in my opinion, is a blatant lie. He says he cannot control anybody taking his clips out of context, which, to be fair, true, but the biggest strategy he has to get famous and get to the point that he is now was through this method, and he knew that, and he had that incorporated in his Hustlers University. He also muddies the waters a lot because he'll talk about people taking clips out of context that were from 5 years ago.
And also I have a problem with the fact that social media has changed so much in modern times. A lot of the things I said that are being used against me were said 5 or 6 years ago in long format video.
But there are also clips that are being taken from his podcast that have happened months ago, if not weeks ago, or whenever he was doing great before this all started crashing down on him. And another hilarious point, in my opinion, is the fact that he is complaining about everybody taking him out of context while simultaneously saying that he respects people who disagree with them, but you know, anybody who disagrees with him is just taking him out of context, is the fact that he took his own clip out of context to make it look like he was better than he was in this moment, which is kind of hard because he already looks like a jackass for what he said in this clip, but he looks even worse with the context that he did not include a few moments before this clip.
I champion women all the time. I say about how they should be protected, how beautiful they are, how much I love my grandmother because of the amount of children she had.
My grandmother had 9 children because there was my father and 8 more. They all had a bunch of kids, blah, blah, blah. I stood there and I looked at my 93-year-old grandmother, and there was a whole room full with maybe 70 people that came from that one woman. Isn't that remarkable?
Yeah,
that nobody cared about her career. Nobody asked what job she did. Nobody asked how many times she went to the club. Nobody asked if she had time to go to festivals. No, you had 70 sentient beings, including myself, full of life from one woman who dedicated herself to being a mother and a good wife. That is beautiful.
So let's share the full clip, shall we? Because it's great. It makes things so much better. I'm being sarcastic again.
You're 35?
No, I'm saying I'll
No.
probably have a kid when I'm 35.
Ooh,
but right now,
that's risky.
I'm 23.
You know, at 35, your ability to bring a child to term is like significantly decreased,
But
right? Like
See, and if it
90%.
doesn't happen, then it doesn't happen.
But
It's
in
not a real
general,
end
carrying
goal.
a child is risky. Like
Right.
in general, girls
Yeah.
lose their memory, girls lose hair,
Yeah.
girls get diabetes, heart failure.
So if you know that it's dangerous to carry a child in general, wouldn't you want to do it when you're at your peak fertility so it's not going to fuck you up long term?
I mean, it doesn't matter whether you're
Oh, no, it matters.
So we need to pause for a second here. I do have to shorten this clip because this video goes on for 10 to 15 minutes long, and I have a sneaking suspicion if I played this full clip, it would get copyrighted. But here's the context of it, so nobody can freak out that I'm cutting out the context. The topic of pregnancy was brought up, and the question was asked what these women would do if they decided not to have kids.
If you're not gonna have children, what are you gonna do with your lives?
Some of the women answered that they would travel the world.
Travel, just pursue anything that makes me happy. Try to make money. I love traveling, so I would probably just
Drink cocktails on the beach. Okay, next.
Focus on their career.
About the same thing, like travel, focus on my career, things like that. Like my career will become my baby.
This is actually very telling. This is a good question. All right, go ahead.
Focus on school.
Right now, so I go to the University of Miami. I'm majoring in interactive media. What I want to do with that is build virtual reality simulators for the military. Then I'm also minoring in motion pictures. I'm interested in acting and shit like that.
And some of the women did say they don't know what they would do because what they want to do with their life is have children, which is fine too.
I'm just gonna be completely honest. I don't know what I would do because that's
Because you want children, because it's important.
That's been that's my dream. That's my goal. Have children.
High five.
But let's see Andrew Tate's full reaction to this.
A life without children is vapious, and it's inane, and it's pointless. And you may sit here and think that your career matters, but the truth is that your job will fire you at a whim and not give a second, don't give a solitary shit. And when you're 52 and you're past it with no grandchildren in a house by yourself, and all your friends have grandchildren in this beautiful life, and you're sitting there by yourself, do you think the fact that you can afford a few extra Gucci bags is going to genuinely make you feel happy?
And this is the part where he starts talking about his grandmother again. I'm not going to make you sit through that clip twice, but let's look at what he says after that clip.
And if you sit here and genuinely think that you're going to work your ass off through your fertile years, and by the age of 54, you're not going to be alone with a cat, then you're dumb. You are dumb.
I'm not
You
saying
are dumb.
I'm not saying I didn't want kids. Like, I'm just saying in general, like for the question. If I didn't have any kids,
But
that's what
not having kids would be the worst thing that
But
could
I
possibly
actually
happen.
do want kids. That's not the problem. I just want to be able to have kids without having a
God.
selfish
You know what,
reason.
Myron? You know what, guys? Fresh and Myron. I'm gonna do something I've never done before.
Okay.
Oh shit.
I gotta go.
Oh shit.
I can't handle anymore. I'm trying. They're not listening to nothing.
I saw your
I
face.
am
I saw
listening.
your face. I was like, yeah. I saw
They're
it.
not listening to me. It's like, bring the asteroid. All these women are sitting there saying, oh no, I don't want to listen to a man. I don't want kids. I just want to watch Sex in the City and drink martinis and go on a beach. And
The man who is crying about being taken out of context by people on the internet just completely forgot about the question he asked, which was, if you're not going to have children, what are you going to do with your life? Which was taken as a hypothetical question, as some of the women literally sat there for a second and said, oh, well, if I can't have kids, then I'll do X, Y, and Z.
I'm not saying that I don't want to have kids, but if I decide not to, well, I plan on becoming a doctor.
if I'm not gonna have children,
If you don't have kids, what are you gonna do?
But he completely forgot about the last 10 minutes and respun the entire situation to make it sound like all of the people who just gave their answers told them to his face that they didn't want to have kids, which if they don't, that's none of his business anyway. He has no place to judge them. Yet his response is to call them dumb for not wanting to have kids. Sounds like Andrew Tate took a little bit of the context away from his own video.
you are
Me right
dumb.
I'm not
You
saying
are
I
dumb.
didn't-
In this entire hour-long video, he gives one example where somebody is clearly taking what he is saying out of context and making it a lot worse than what it seems.
Somebody, I have no idea who, has made a TikTok where it says men do certain things, and it shows videos of me driving around in cars, spending money, and women do certain things, and it shows women cleaning. Women do certain things, and men do certain things. Somebody off their own back, somebody else has made that video. I didn't tell them to, I don't know who they are, I don't know what their account is, it's just viral on the internet somewhere.
The problem with this is the fact that, one, this video has 0 likes, which is a little suspicious to me, especially since you cut out the name of this TikTok while sharing the names of the other ones in the beginning of the video. But also, if you look at the profile picture, it's a picture of Andrew Tate, which to me makes me believe that this is another Andrew Tate account, a fan account maybe. Maybe it's somebody who is in his affiliation with the Hustlers University. He took out the context there. Interesting. And now here's the thing, I totally understand that when you are as popular as someone like Andrew Tate, where tons and tons of people are reacting to your content in a negative or a positive way, of course, things you say and do are going to be taken out of context at some point or another, and you cannot control everybody's response. You cannot control everybody's thoughts. No, you can't control what every single person in your audience does, but you do have influence, and what a lot of people have an issue with is that you are seeming to influence a lot of young men who don't have any life experience yet. And while you might not have made this clip yourself, it's clear to me that the likeliness of this either being a fan of yours or affiliated with you is kind of high, considering all of the other TikToks we've seen and the content that you create yourself. A good portion of his video talks about how he donates to a lot of charities and how he's a really good person, and see, everybody criticizing him probably doesn't donate or anything like that, and I find this to be just a regular manipulative tactic that a lot of people, especially wealthy people, will use to minimize the opinions that others have about them when they have a bad take or bad viewpoints or do bad things. That's a great thing if you're donating to places like helping domestic or helping children. That's fantastic, good on you. But that doesn't mean that everything that everybody is criticizing you for is suddenly invalid. There's something else that really bothers me when he goes into the issue where his house was raided by police in Romania. He is now claiming that the police raid in his Romanian house was a swatting incident.
My house was raided by police under accusations that a woman was being held kidnapped. I have spoke about this at length many times. I was effectively swatted. I think this happens to all famous people on the internet, where the police is called. It happens especially in America. They call the police and say, somebody has got a gun at this address and he's threatening to kill somebody. And the SWAT turn up and it turns out it's fake. It happened to Tim Pool repeatedly. It happened to Aiden Ross just the other day. Being swatted is unfortunately one of the things that happens when you're famous on the internet.
But in my opinion, this is different from what actually happened. What he himself claims has happened.
Oh, the police took our computers, duh, and all our phones, and our iPads, and our laptops. It's fine.
The top G triggered on and apologized. We're sorry. First words they said to me were sorry. People online are like, why didn't they rough you up? Why didn't they tackle you to the ground?
Because you don't understand respect. The police know me. They didn't want to come here. They're like, bro, sorry, G. We know you're the top G, but we have to.
Some whoopee was chilling with T. They made love. And then Tristan stopped replying to her texts. Why? Because it's Tristan. He stopped replying. She's from, I don't know where she's from. Some other country. I don't know where she's from. She's not Romanian. And after they slept together, he ignored her one day. Hey, let's go out for dinner. Ignored her, kept ignoring her. Then turns out she has a boyfriend. So the boyfriend found out she was with Tristan. So now she's in a hard situation, right? Because she doesn't want to admit to her boyfriend she's been cheating with the guy who now ignores her completely. So she says, oh, yeah, but I was with him, but I didn't want to be. I was at their house and I couldn't leave. Like she was kidnapped. Even though all of our CCTV, which the police now have, prove that she came by Uber and left by Uber, and there's text messages of her begging to come back, and Tristan wouldn't let her. So then her boyfriend calls the embassy and calls the police from France or whatever country she's from. And they instigate this high-level police SWAT raid for kidnapping. And they come into my house, sorry, Tate, sorry, we're sorry, it's from the embassy. Because if it was actually Romanian stuff, the police wouldn't even come. If the Romanian called the Romanian police, they'd be like, we ain't going to the top G's house, he ain't kidnapping bitches, he's kicking them out. No way. They know me. But because it's from an embassy, because the French embassy, blah, blah, international incident, blah, blah, blah. So the police come here, had to take all my things. This is 2 days after the event. I'm about to get all my electronics back already. Because they know I didn't do anything. The girls broke down crying, admitting she made it up. Whoopies.
Stupid whoopies.
The problem is that while at this point in time there are no criminal charges on record, you yourself bragged about your relationship with the Romanian police, and you talked about what it's like to be a top G. And you have also made several videos talking about the reason why you have moved to Romania was to not be constricted.
People say, why did you live in Romania? And I explain my 5 reasons. One of them is the Me Too era. They go, oh, well, you're a I say, no, I'm not a rapist. But I like the idea of being able to just say to do what I want. I like being free.
Now, at one point in this very long video, Andrew Tate claims that he amps up his energy and emphasizes what he says to make himself more exciting. So perhaps he was exaggerating this to make his audience more interested in it. The thing is, this has created a split reaction. You have a group of people who are fascinated by this and are looking up to you for this, and the other group of people are absolutely horrified because nobody knows for sure if what you are saying is true or not at this point. I'm not going to get into the human trafficking situation again in this video. My fears really lie with what was previously on his website that he had removed, more so than this situation, because right now we really don't know what the truth is and what the truth isn't until the conclusion of this investigation is somewhere publicized. But what we do know is that on the day that he now claims he was swatted, he was arrested. He might not have been charged with anything, but he was taken down to the police station and questioned, and I believe his brother was too. And there's even footage of him being shoved in a police car. So in my opinion, this is way different than an actual swatting. On top of that, I do believe that the investigation is still going on, and it probably will for a while, and several sources claim that there was more than one girl involved in this situation. I personally think that at the very least, something sketchy is going on, especially if you do watch my previous video where we look at what was on his website before he removed it. But again, I don't think this was swatting, at least with the information we currently have. I obviously don't condone that, and I don't condone that in any situation, no matter how bad the person is, because that is something that is very dangerous, of course, and just don't do that. At one point in his video, he also talks about how people are telling their audiences to insult his deceased father and his other family members.
I think that to be a person filled with so much hate that you think making videos insulting a man and encouraging your viewers to go and insult him and his deceased father and his family members, I think that is a horrible way to live.
I personally have not seen one single person who has encouraged their audience to do that or has done that themselves. I obviously want to say in this video to not do that. To anybody who's watching this, please do not do that. I obviously do not condone that. I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's right. Other people in his life who are his family, leave them out of this, obviously, and don't send any hurtful things or threats or insults to them. Just focus on criticizing Andrew Tate if you don't like him. That's it. So before I get to my next point, I want to preface it by saying I may do a deep dive style video on this entire situation, but for this video, I'm trying to keep things a little bit more focused to just Tate's response. With that being said, he does mention the clip that supposedly gotten him kicked off of the show Big Brother, where it looked like he was harming a woman in a video, but he claims that this was just roleplay, and she herself has made a video saying pretty much the same thing. This results in Tate dismissing any and all accusations that he has ever harmed a woman in this response. The issue is that this wasn't the only video of him doing something like this, and it also seems like there were other women involved, and we have not heard from those women to confirm or deny that this was all just a bit, at least not to my knowledge. Lastly, he says, I have no ill will towards the social media apps that have banned me.
I hold no ill will against any social media platforms. I hold no ill will against any of the people who hate me or who have tried to spread lies about me.
Yet, at the same time, if you believe that you were unjustly banned or that people were taking your videos out of context to make you look worse, then why wouldn't you be upset that you were banned? So getting to my thoughts on Andrew Tate's ban, I personally am not upset that he's banned. I think he's going to be fine financially. I don't think this is going to ruin his career. He himself claims that he doesn't use social media, that it's other people posting his image on social media. I have heard a lot of people worrying that this could set a precedent that anybody who you disagree with has a chance of being banned, and that this could create some sort of slippery slope where people can be banned from social media because people don't agree with their take. I personally don't think that it's going to be that extreme. I could be wrong. Maybe it will get that extreme at one point, but I personally don't think that it's going to be that bad. And I will agree that there is something scary about the idea that you are at the hands and the mercy of the giant corporations running these platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, whatever. And every time somebody gets banned from being online in one way or another, this conversation comes up that social media is controlling what you say, and that there's censorship, and that a lot of people are being more and more censored with their thoughts and opinions. When it comes to him sharing his shitty opinions online, I think the better method is just responding to it and confronting it and giving your own takes on why what he said was bad or why you disagree with it, and have a conversation. And I think that actually will bring more impact than just banning him will, because now banning him is going to give him this status of being like a martyr. People are going to lose trust in social media, and they're going to look at Tate as this person to look up to even more. It almost will do the opposite of what people want it to do, which is the fact that banning him will prevent his followers from these beliefs, but if anything, it will just make them follow him even more. But when it comes to his allegations and the things that people have accused him of, and the things that have been posted on his website that he has removed, and the sketchy stuff behind him, yeah, I don't feel bad about it. I really don't feel bad for Andrew Tate at all. At the end of the day, regardless of whether or not Andrew Tate makes a return to social media, I personally think he's just a really sketchy guy, and what he says does have a negative impact on people. But the thing is, Andrew Tate's not the only person in this manosphere, as they call it. There's a lot of other podcasters and accounts spreading the same type of message, spreading the same type of ideas. I don't think much is going to change, and I don't think it's going to change the opinions of people who already follow Andrew Tate. I think that they're just going to find somebody else on these social media apps who still currently exist on the platform, and that they're going to follow Andrew Tate on his own websites, because he can't get banned from his own website unless something happens and it goes down. I don't know. With that being said, thank you so much to everybody who has made it all the way to the end of this video. Again, this was not a deep dive. I just wanted to go over everything that's happening with him being removed from social media and his response. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And thank you so much to everybody who has been supporting me over on Patreon, especially Lewis, Miss Tanisha, Anthony, Trust Out, Michelle, and Deemer WM. With that being said, I will see you in the next video.